Hey, and welcome to the show. I'm the Crypto Kid, and in these videos, we talk about everything Bitcoin and everything else in the news that's going on in cryptocurrency and blockchain. So today is a big one. I'm not too sure where to start, so we'll just jump right into it. If you've been watching the show, you know that we talk a lot about Bitcoin Cash, and it looks like the flippening has begun, or at least people are starting to jump ship from BTC. As you can see, Bitcoin is down massive today. Not just a little bit, we're falling. And we're continuing to fall. And a lot of people that support BTC are going to see this as a sale, quote unquote, and will continue to maintain this level. But after a while, people jumping ship for BTC, or sorry, from BTC to Bitcoin Cash will be inevitable. And not just that, there's a lot of other things going on. So let's take a look at the market. Currently, Bitcoin Cash is sitting at $920 per coin. This is phenomenal. This is a record high for Bitcoin, or at least we're getting just to that point where we can break through that $900 mark. And we haven't been here before, so where it can go is anyone's guess. A lot of people are saying that $1,100 mark, if she breaks through there, it's just going to go, parabolical. I'm a Bitcoin Cash supporter. It's pretty obvious, and I'll tell you why. I got into this scene because of the potential Bitcoin had to really change the world in a positive way. And I mean that personally for myself, to watch my own growth of my own money, so I could, become, my money could be, first of all, controlled by myself, and I'd have control of my own finances, but also that I could have more freedom to choose who I could send it to, not be controlled by any one bank. And the other side of it is, the philosophical side, which is really just helping the world become a more pleasant place to live. As people use cash, it enhances their lives. People having access to money and the ability to send it freely without restraint, being able to trade freely, it opens up a whole new world. And when it's limited to only people that can afford it, it defeats the whole purpose. So if you talk about Bitcoin as a P2P system, where you're sending money and you're talking about letting anybody in the world use it, that's one thing. Now, if you're talking about BTC, that's a totally different thing now. The inclusion of SegWit has really prevented 90% of the world from using Bitcoin. It's so expensive, it takes so long to move, that these people around the world in third world countries that their lives potentially could have been changed with Bitcoin, it seems like the core team has gone a polar opposite, and their intentions with Bitcoin do not align with the original white paper at all. Now, I have nothing against, cryptocurrencies taking the individual that these development teams want to take them in. But for myself, the reason I've been jumping ship, and I've sold a majority of my Bitcoin a long time ago, is just because I want to see the potential of the true intentions of Bitcoin be continued. I would love to see it be used all around the world by everybody, not just by the very few wealthy ones that want to line their pockets. Now, don't get me wrong, I've been very successful with Bitcoin, and I'm grateful for that. But at the same time, it's not the same thing anymore, and it's not something that I can recommend to my friends and family and actually feel comfortable doing that, especially when I don't believe in it anymore. So with that off the plate, there's a few people that don't feel that way, clearly, and a lot of them, it really has to do, I'm not logged in here, but a lot of them, it has to do with the fact that they're just completely invested in this, and for them to turn 180 and go another direction, it's madness for them. So I understand that, but I think you have to realize that, when you take a step back and you look at the numbers and the math, this is going to happen. And a lot of very wise people, much smarter than myself, are talking about this. If you follow me at all on Twitter, the Crypto Kid, you'll see that there's a really good community here. And if you've been following me, I appreciate that. And everybody new to the channel, thank you for joining us, because we really, we're just here to educate. And I love making these videos so I can kind of get the information across, because there's another example, Ryan X. Charles, Bitcoin Cash supporter. There's tons of valuable information here that isn't censored like websites like Our Bitcoin, where as soon as you post something, it's gone. So I recommend, if you're going to use Reddit, check out RBTC if you're going to talk about Bitcoin. And there's also Bitcoin Cash has a great site or feed, I should say, on Reddit as well, because before the SegWit 2x stuff, it was just being totally censorized. I mean, I was posting some of my stuff and it was deleted within an hour, just because it had to do with pro SegWit 2x and Bitcoin Cash. So I just wanted to touch on this SegWit 2x. There is the potential rumor here that it is not over. There might be a small group of individuals that still want to see this happen. The New York agreement, whether they're part of that or not, I'm not sure. They claim to be, and they say that they're going to take their power and continue on with it. Now, if that does happen, it's going to help Bitcoin Cash, and it's not going to help Bitcoin BTC. And I'll tell you why, because when you start pulling hash away from other people, it defeats a lot of the main benefits that that Bitcoin has. I mean, it's going to slow down transactions, it's going to increase fees, and it's going to really make the two chains compete with each other, both the SegWit 1x and the SegWit 2x coin. And I think, in my opinion, it's clear that when a fork happens, that old coin is gone. I mean, that old Bitcoin ended August 1st, and there's two completely new chains. And that's my opinion, but there's a lot of facts behind that. And mainly it's because they've slightly adjusted a bit so that initial chain is gone. And like many people know, that chain, it's a different chain every block. I mean, so when you look at that original chain forking each time, you're changing the code itself from what it was. So it's always transforming. And just like everything in life, there's always going to be that shift and that change. And we as humans know that we have to adapt to that. Now, a lot of people are going to get stuck in the past here with BTC, and they, in my opinion, will regret it. Now, that's not to say it won't continue to go up, but unless it changes drastically in some unforeseen way, the system itself will seize, and it won't be able to transact or function in the way it was meant to be. So as you can see, Bitcoin Cash here, this is the mining profits. So it's based on the difficulty, and as you can see, the benefit is going towards Bitcoin Cash. It was up at around 140. The future is expected to be going to Bitcoin, but as you can see, it's this is looking pretty good. And why wouldn't it be? Via BTC has just announced that they will be completely focused on mining Bitcoin Cash, and as well as Bitcoin.com has now said that they will be doing that as well, like I mentioned yesterday. So we're 5 days away from this potential SegWit 2x. I'm not too worried about that at all. If anything, it's just going to make Bitcoin Cash more profitable and rise even faster. And like I mentioned in other videos, as we move past that fork for Bitcoin itself, we'll definitely start to see some issues. Even if a small group starts pulling hash power away, it still will hurt the SegWit coin, and it will put more people's attention on Bitcoin Cash. Now, Bitcoin Cash has a fork coming up on the 13th, which is only 3 days away, and this is going to be awesome. It's the DAA upgrade, and it's gonna, like I've said in many other videos, it's gonna be faster, safer. I don't know how it could be much cheaper, but it's just going to be incredible for Bitcoin Cash, and it's because of these development teams that Bitcoin has behind them, and that's why I see this flippening happening. I really do see a lot of people jumping ship from Bitcoin Core and saying, hey, this is not what I signed up for. I'm cashing out and I'm heading home. So from my opinion, this is not trading advice, and I'm not a financial advisor, but this is what I'm doing. I've gotten out of Bitcoin a while back. I would have liked to maybe keep it a little bit longer, because I think where I got out majority was somewhere even further back, but it did go up higher. But I've been waiting to see what it's doing, because I would like to sell out a little bit higher, but I just see it going down and down and down, especially if Bitcoin Cash continues to go up. But the timing with the Bitcoin Cash hard fork is just incredible, because it's like a second blow. It's going to be like that 1-2 knockout, I feel. And again, I mean, nothing is concrete. The market is very powerful, but there's a lot of news with China supporting Bitcoin Cash and talking about that the exchanges are only going to be dealing with, or the miners, I should say, are only going to be dealing with Bitcoin Cash. So there's a lot of support, and I don't see it as a pump and dump. I mean, sure, there's always going to be some people in there that are riding the rocket, and they will jump off, and you'll see that. I'm sure you will. But the rocket is driven by a lot of other people that aren't just in it to pump and dump. So I will be doing a lot more of these videos, so if you haven't hit that subscribe button, please do so. I love making these, and there's a lot of information on Twitter as well. There's a great community, so head over to Twitter and join us. We'd love to have you. Comment, like, subscribe. It's a lot of fun. So thanks for watching, and if you've been enjoying these, hit that like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.